Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Mega Man 3 Part 2. So now that we've pretty much killed the first 3 Robot Masters this game, our next victim is going to be Needle Man. His head is made out of needles, which would explain his personality. Probably the reason why he decided to move to some sort of weird town, or some weird place that looks like it's a city building. Mixed with the kind of ship you'd find sailing out at sea, like what's it, a city in the sea or something like that? What's it supposed to be anyways? I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. And again, since when did Mega Man ever make sense? Mega Man never really made sense. Mega Man games always had weird locations. Like our Cut Man stage in the first game was supposed to be some sort of like forestry yard, but it looks like an industrial yard. And there was a Lek Man stage with some sort of electrical tower. And there was Guts Man that had those weird train things. And there was Ice Man that was like a frozen... And there was like some sort of frozen tropical island or something like that. And Fireman stage didn't make any sense either. So of course not. Mega Man games, they never have levels that make any sense at all. That's exactly the case for this level. It's like a ship at sea, but it's a city or something like that, where these mech tools keep popping out every 2 seconds, and there's these robot dragonflies that come out too, but no, most of the enemies of Soul are actually quite weak if you get a few shots of them, that is. Mech tools pretty much always die in one shot, and dragonflies are a little tougher, but then again, dragonflies only have a lifespan of 24 hours anyways. This level really puts the new ability we have to the test. This would have been impossible in the first 2 games because the first 2 games didn't have any sliding in them, which they introduced the sliding in this game. So we could slide through. Yeah, Mega Man can slide under things and jump around things. And everything they really did this game to make Mega Man slightly more maneuverable. Mega Man stops on a dime in this game. There is no how do you say it, like momentum kind of thing, where like in the first 2 games when you stop, Mega Man kind of slides a little bit when you stop, or not crouch down slide. I mean, he kind of moves like an extra step over, like part of a step a little bit over in the first 2 games. This game, they got rid of that in this game, and pretty much for the rest of the Mega Man games, they don't have that. Which is actually yet another improvement with this game, because this game is by all means a much better game than the first 2 Mega Mans. Everyone seems to say Mega Man 2 is the best Mega Man game ever, but I think this is the game is far better than Mega Man 2. The music is just as good, probably just as the music is just as epic. Sure, the Robot Masters aren't necessarily as challenging as they were in Mega Man 2, and most of the weapons in this game suck. But at least, but maybe that's weapons might suck. But then again, if you have weapons that are too overpowered, then it might make the game too easy in a lot of parts, which was exactly the case with Mega Man 2. So it's actually better to just rely on one weapon, the one pea shooter weapon, and just have other weapons, kind of suck. Like we're about to use a really sucky weapon right now, the Gemini laser, one of the worst weapons in the game. It's probably the second worst weapon in the game. Top Man's weapon is definitely the worst. Look, just shot him a few times. Look at this. Weapon is slow. It bounces off walls. You can't fire more than one shot at a time. Our weapons we can't even pause the game when it's just going around like that. We're pretty much useless. A useless sitting duck when the Gemini laser is being used. Which is, it's slow, so that's actually not a good weapon. Like I keep saying, most of the weapons in this game aren't that good. Now it's got Needle Man's weapon. Needle Man's weapon is actually pretty good, actually. It's actually one of the better weapons in the game. It's kind of like Metal Man's weapon, almost. Only you can't aim it in 8 directions for things. Oh, and look, we also got the Rush Jet. That's going to be a very useful thing. We're about to see Rush at his best. And the best level to demonstrate this with is, of course, Magnet Man's level. A lot of people like to do this level first. I like to do it 5th because we get the Rush Jet at this point in time. This level is really challenging without the Rush Jet. Of course, I often forget that Mega Man's magnetic. So you see his magnet things, they also attract him, because Mega Man does weigh a lot because he's a robot, and temperatures, he's probably not sensitive to temperatures and everything for that, because he's a robot, of course. He's an android from the future. But he is magnetic, but you think they could have built some sort of, Dr. Light could have put some sort of thing to make him not attract magnets, but look at that, we're going against Break Man. We actually have to fight him this time around too, to shoot at him. He's just gonna jump around, just fire a bunch of shots. Break Man's kind of a pushover. He's really easy to defeat. He doesn't have a health bar because why would he need a health bar? We don't get to kill him. We just shoot at him a bunch of times and he just goes away like a wussy. We know that the main villains in games are always cowards, right? And Breakman, he's no obsession. He's definitely a coward. Either that or he's trying to hide something from us. Maybe he has like a dirty, dark secret that he doesn't want us to know about. Could that be the case? I don't know. This level's also set in a very weird location. Doesn't really make any sense. Do we get shrunken down and put into a robot or something like that? What's all this wiring around here? So this siding and stuff like that. Like there's RW, there's can't say RW. What are those supposed to be? Where are we anyways? This level doesn't make any sense. gave us some health there. The game's being nice. And now I have to deal with another like an Iceman stage in the first game. We have to deal with this stupid reappearing, disappearing block puzzle. But thankfully, we have Rush, so we don't have to worry about that. And if you could jump on Rush as well, too, see what I'm doing here? It actually does conserve energy on Rush's part, so you can use less and less energy. You can move up, down, left, right. You can even stop and change directions in midair. You can do everything with Rush in this game. Rush really is a powerful sidekick in this game. We can refill our energy there, but there's no point. We get energy refills every time we clear one of the Robot Master levels, and this level's almost over, so there's no point us going down there for energy, and there aren't any extra things to find. This game doesn't have any hidden secrets, or hidden extras, or hidden anything, really. So far, the only Mega Man game at this point that actually had any hidden stuff to find in the game would probably be the first Mega Man, because we had to get the Magnet Beam. Oh boy, remember the dreaded Magnet Beam? We don't have to worry about Magnet Beams anymore. Now I got Rush. He's gonna be our Magnet Beam now. Here's Magnet Man. We don't have his weakness, so we have no choice but to use our Plasma Shooter on him. It's Plasma Shot, Mega Buster, whatever it's called. His attack pattern is very predictable too. He's gonna try to attract to us. We can just slide away and just shoot at him a bunch of times. Look at that, I only shot him like once. Well, okay, I shot him way more than once or twice. Look at that, he's almost dead. We can see why he's a really good candidate to take on first, why so many people like taking him on as the first Robot Master in the game. This game actually does have a lot of Robot Masters that can easily be defeated with the regular Plasma Shot, the regular Mega Buster, because a lot of the later Mega Man games, that's not something that would ever happen. There's always one you have to go after first, and then have to do them in a certain order of weakness. But Mega Man 3 is very loose and lenient on what order you can do the levels. And so we got Magnet Missile. It's not that great of a weapon either. It's not very energy efficient at all. You can only shoot it like a few times and it runs out of energy. It doesn't do a lot of damage against things, unless you're using against the Robot Master that's the weakness of, which is Hard Man. Yeah, Hard Man. He's a discount Guts Man. We couldn't go after Guts Man in this game, so now we're going after Hard Man. And hard as nails, Hard Man. And for some reason, he has a thing for bumblebees, so he's gonna keep throwing bumblebees at us. Bumblebees at us. This would be easy if you had a shield weapon, but there are no shields in this game. There are no shield weapons. It's actually the first Mega Man game that I know that doesn't have shield weapons. Because I remember Mega Man 1 had the Fireman's weapon, that was a shield, and then Mega Man 2 had Woodman's weapon, which is also a shield-type weapon. In this game, there are no shields. They actually thought, we made the game easy enough as is. We don't need a shield, they'll just make it way too easy. So I was gonna say, Spot didn't make up for the game being easier, but just having all the weapons in the game pretty much suck, which is exactly the case here. This level actually makes a little more sense than some of the other levels in this game, because they're actually, in their construction yard, very similar to Gutsman stage. I wouldn't be surprised if we're somewhere near where Gutsman stage was in the first Mega Man. As what you expect, there's a lot of left things, there's a lot of like stair things where when you walk down them, your Mega Man goes has a sound it makes when he jumps and he lands on the ground, makes a distinct sound. I bet if we actually did make sounds like that when people jumped in real life, people would probably jump a lot more in real life if it made sounds like that. Or even like a Donkey Kong makes a ding sound when you jump. This game does have a lot of stuff reminiscent of Donkey Kong, so it involves jumping over things, climbing up ladders, trying to get to the top. Mega Man actually is very reminiscent of Donkey Kong in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, Donkey Kong kind of was the precursor to Mega Man if you look at it that way. And we're going after a Robot Monkey right now, so I rest my case. Donkey Kong really did have a lot of influence on Mega Man. Those monkey things would be easy. There's a very similar enemy to that in Woodman stage, but you can defeat it easy with a Metal Blade, which is something you don't really have in this game anymore, because there is no Metal Blade, there is no Metal Man in this game. But of course, being an offshoot of Gutsman's level, of course, can be those enemies reminiscent of Gutsman's level from the first game. And look at that, another E-Tank. We keep filling up on E-Tanks, energy drinks. I wonder how Mega Man would take that. Is it like a thing he charges up on, or does he have to drink it? The Mega Man cartoon from the 90s, yeah, that's right, there was a Mega Man animated series in the 90s. It makes it seem like Mega Man has to drink those. And oh look, we're going after Breakman again. And this time Breakman has an advantage over us, because he just constantly jumps around. He always does damage to us when he hits us. And this time around, the surface isn't flat. It's actually a rocky surface, like a rocky leveled surface, so we're actually at a disadvantage here this time around. Looks like Breakman might win over us again, unless he's gonna be a coward and run off again like he always does. Oh, look at that, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't have the guts to destroy us. I bet if he had an infinite amount of health, or near infinite amount of health, just like the Robot Master, or if he's like a Robot Master, where he has a health bar of a lot of health, I bet he could still never beat us. Breakman doesn't have any weaknesses at all. Why would he have a weakness? He's a wuss. He just runs away anyways at the sight of your plasma shot. As soon as he sees your weapon, he just runs away like a coward. That's exactly what he is. He just have to shoot these magnets into Hardman. Until Hardman really wanted to be the next Guts Man, because he knows how much Dr. Wily loves Guts Man, right? But he's nothing more. We destroyed him with magnets, because magnets apparently are, I don't know, maybe he's like some of those old electronics, I think, that are sensitive to magnets that get destroyed easily. I don't know, that's the only logic that kind of makes sense in this level. So, we got Hard Knuckle. Yeah, Hardman's weapon. It's a Hard Knuckle. It's a giant boxing glove we could use to shoot at stuff, to break down walls and destroy Shadow. Well, that's not actually Shadow Man's weakness. We already destroyed Top Man. Top Man's weakness was the Hard Knuckle. So now we're going after Shadow Man. Wonder what this is supposed to be. It's like a red waterfall. Waterfall with some red orange liquid. It looks like pizza sauce maybe, or maybe some odd exotic drink from somewhere I've never heard of before maybe. Possibly another galaxy maybe. And there's those jumping things. There's little jumping things. They're hard to hit because they're very small. Once you do get killed in one hit. Look at that. Those Gutsman reminiscent enemies again. They're driving those bulldozers. We seem to use them a lot in this game. And look, Breakman's here, and look at that. We have the advantage of him this time because he doesn't have a leveled surface. Breakman keeps getting weaker and weaker. At first, he just ran away from us. Now he wants us to downright just blast the crap out of him, which is exactly what we're supposed to do when you fight against Breakman. You just blast the crap out of him, which is what we did. There's those eye things that have suction cups stuck to them. I wonder where they got the idea for these enemies from. Did they go to a toy store? Not really a toy store. I mean, do you go to a thrift store? You find all kinds of weird loose toys from things and you don't even know what they are after the things are. I wonder what the hell is this supposed to be or something like that. You can see this level's a bit of a planetarium too, because there's that machine at the top of the screen that's making everything go to like a planetarium, where you can see stars moving around. I guess you could call it the first planetarium type level in a Mega Man game. There are other planetariums we'll see throughout the Mega Man series. They're actually not that uncommon, and this is probably the first one, which is really impressive how the NES is able to, work with those graphics, those star-like graphics, completely making them take over the stage, or still having the stage. But then again, we saw stuff like that in Mega Man 2 as well, too, where like in Quick Man's level and everything went dark. Or even the final boss. I think they stole that thing from the final boss in Mega Man 2 when Dr. Wily used that, virtual reality machine thing to make a fake alien thing appear. We had to destroy a Bubble Man's weapon. Oh yeah, those were the best of times. Remember back when we were playing Mega Man 2? And so we can easily get past this using the Rush Jet. Just fly on him, could go any direction, and you can even jump to conserve energy, as you see him doing here too. And Rush is kind of immortal. Well, not really immortal, but he is immune to getting hit in this game. If Rush gets hit in this game, he does nothing. He doesn't care about getting hit. Rush really is tough like a tank in this game. But in the sequels, the subsequent games, they really made Rush a wuss in the subsequent games. And so it's time to take on Shadow Man, and of course we're going to use Shadow Man's weakness, which is actually the first weapon we got in the game, Top Man's weapon. You're about to see one of the worst weapons in Mega Man history in use. Look at that, Mega Man just spins himself around, jumps in the air and spins around, and look at that. Shadow Man's dead like he's nothing. One of the greatest robot masters in the game, very reminiscent of Metal Man from Mega Man 2, is dead in a few seconds, simply because we twisted him around with the tornado weapon that spun him around like he's in a tornado or something like that. I bet he hates tornado season. He probably lives in an RV, maybe that's why. And look at that, we also got Rush Marine, which is this Rush submarine that can be used to go underwater. This is Ray Phoenix, signing out.